Good morning and welcome. It's Corporate Governance Platform brought to you by the Institute of Chartered Secretaries and Administrators of Nigeria, ICSAN. I'm Funmi Omoburiwo. Let me quickly remind you that ICSAN is a leading recognized professional body in Nigeria that's dedicated to enhancing the status and practice of corporate governance and public administration. Today on the program, we want to look at compliance as a key principle in corporate governance. Compliance as a key principle in corporate governance. And my guests are right here in the studio. We have Mr. Isaac OSUNTUYI, ACIS, member, Corporate Members and Training Committee, ICSAN. Is also a partner at OSUNTUYI and Tokon Lawal Law. Good morning, Mr. OSUNTUYI.
Good morning, Madam Funmi.
All right, thank you for joining us on Corporate Governance Platform this morning.
Thank you for having me.
All right, also here is Mr. Kayode Ketefe, FCIS, Head of Research, ICSAN. Good morning, Mr. Ketefe.
Good morning, Funmi. Good morning to you, our guest, Mr. Isaac OSUNTUYI, ACIS, and all our listeners. Good morning.
All right, and we're going to take this message. We'll be right back.
The world is constantly evolving into a knowledge-based economy where skills and competencies constitute the lifeblood of public and corporate governance. You therefore need to empower yourself to fit into this new world by gaining basic knowledge and improving your skill set in the governance-focused disciplines. That is why every aspiring as well as practicing professional in governance field needs ICSAN.
ICSAN. What is ICSAN?
ICSAN is a leading statutorily established professional body dedicated to enhancing the status and practice of corporate governance and public administration. ICSAN members are trained as chartered secretaries and administrators.
Who are chartered secretaries and administrators?
Chartered secretaries are high-ranking governance professionals with a broad base of skills, unique amongst other professions. They are trained in law, finance, accounting, administration, strategy development, and corporate governance. In today's world, chartered secretaries and administrators discharge a wide range of duties and responsibilities, including functioning as chairmen of companies, executive directors, non-executive directors, company secretaries, risk managers, compliance managers, board evaluators, and corporate governance evaluators.
That is interesting. How then do I become a chartered secretary and administrator?
Good. Go to the Institute's website, www.icsan.org. You can also visit the National Secretariat of ICSAN at Plot 6, Elephant Cement Way, Alausa, Ikeja, Lagos, to get full information on how to become members. ICSAN, the hub of governance professionals.
All right, still Corporate Governance Platform right here. And as I said earlier, we're looking at compliance as a key principle in corporate governance. Mr. OSUNTUYI is right here. All right, so let's begin this way. What exactly does the term compliance refer to?
Okay, compliance is just a process by which companies conform their actions to the social, legal, regulatory norms. Or better way to say, just conformity with social, legal, and regulatory norms.
Okay, so why is compliance such an important issue in corporate governance?
Corporate governance itself is set or based on set of rules, codes, conduct, regulations, laws itself. And what's the sense of having all these laws and rules and regulations if you won't comply with them? So compliance comes in, okay, to make sure there's a balance between or amongst these set rules from the company's perspective all the way down to their stakeholders and to the entire corporate community as a whole.
All right. Now, it said that non-compliance can spell doom for an organization. I want you to explain this statement in the context of corporate governance.
Okay, thank you. So corporate governance set foundation for companies to achieve their goals and objectives. Basically, make money, make profits, and give the public, project your image in a way to the public that seems acceptable to them. And if the rules has been set, okay, are not complied with, then you have a chance of running foul of the law and going against lots and lots of laws and regulations, which attract stiff fines. And also, principle 4, because all this discussion about corporate governance and compliance can actually find their roots to the Nigeria Codes of Corporate Governance, as in 2018 law.
Okay.
It's streamlined. It's a code of 7 parts with about 20 principles. Okay. Each principle tells you from the board of directors, from the room of the board of directors, to even the staff of the company, what is expected of them. So these rules, these principles outline what is expected of all these people. So once you run foul of any of the rules or any of the principles, you're obviously run foul of the laws establishing the institution that actually accepted you in. So, hope I answered the question correctly, please.
Okay, so what I said was non-compliance. You explaining how non-compliance can spell doom for an organization.
Okay, please. Let me say one more thing to just cut that up. Most of the issues we have in Nigeria, or companies with Nigeria nowadays, is the ethical. Is more of the ethical standards. Okay. It's easy to say, okay, fine. The law says, rule says, or code says, so time. If you need to change the director, if you need to actually bring in a shareholder, if you need to actually change the company secretary, if you need to sell your shares, if you need to do so many things involving the company, do so and so things. And failure to go by those rules, some might say, let me just take the short cut, let me take the shorter route to get these things done. But at the end of the day, it comes back to you. And the penalty you pay for the mistake you make now and correct yourself, it's far heavier than what you pay. You might even cost shareholders their money and their means of livelihood if you don't comply to the rules and standards set by the codes of corporate governance.
Okay, you've mentioned some in passing in answering a previous question, because I actually wanted you to explain legal compliance, corporate governance compliance, and ethical compliance. So maybe you just expatiate a little bit on some of those things you didn't mention earlier. Okay.
So I will do it this way to make it very straightforward and easy for our listeners to understand. Legal compliance is simply saying comply with the laws of the land. Okay. Nigeria has a legal system. That's why we have the Companies and Allied Matters Act, that we have the Investment and Securities Act. These are laws already established. Comply with them and you'll be fine. Corporate governance compliance is saying, so we have body of rules, principles, guidelines outlined in the NCCG, that's the Nigerian Code for Corporate Governance, outlined to direct your affairs. This comes more like pre-incorporation, before you incorporate your company, before you even start the company.
Okay.
During the incorporation of the company, and post-incorporation, that is even after you incorporated the company, things you should do, things you should look out for. It helps to shape, it helps to keep you in line of what the corporate governance expects of you. And the ethical compliance, which is the last one, pertains to companies' ethical standards, which are the values the company holds, involving honesty, integrity, fairness. And the NCCG intentionally refers to this ethical compliance as the key component or core component of corporate governance. If it's missing, if the ethical, that was what I was trying to explain earlier on the ethical compliance standards. If it's missing in any corporate organizations, then the organization is bound to fail.
Yeah, right. Now, why is it often said in the corporate governance parlance that tick box approach to compliance is a bad practice?
Okay. Tick box is more of a surface level compliance strategy. Companies just go by to escape going through the proper channel. That means a shortcut.
Okay.
Is the major issue with tick boxes? It's easier for you to do. It's easier for everyone to do. But at the end of the day, it shows lack of true commitment to the corporate governance itself, and even to the people you claim you're serving through your company. It fails to address the real risk involved in what you're supposed to do. For example, let me give an example. I'll use tax as an example of, because I was speaking to a senior colleague of mine when I found out I was coming on the show, and I asked her that, because she works with the FIRS,
Okay.
What are the issues you face, basically, with customers and all? And the issue is basically tax. And we used VAT as an example. Okay, you're supposed to pay, you're selling valuable items, and you've charged so amount of 7.5% on a particular item. This money ought to be refunded back to the right coffers. But because you say, I can do it with this now, nobody, because I'm a small company or a medium company, I can get away with this. You keep it to yourself. So, but when the punishment for non-complying will come, it costs you about maybe 50k per month, from the time you fail to actually comply, up until the time you pay up, and that money increases and goes in bit by bit. So, tick box is not really an effective way of corporate governance, and corporate governance actually, how do I put it, preach against it to companies and corporate bodies out there.
All right. Before I'll let you go, what advice do you have for companies and other organizations on the issues of compliance?
Before I give the advice I have on corporate compliance or corporate governance,
yes,
there's an issue with there's an issue I just want to actually touch base on. I want to briefly before I go into stuff.
Okay.
I want to just address the issue of the attention to the environmental, social, and occupational. When you're working in the company, things that company has to look out for to take care of their own.
Okay.
Basically, things they ought to fix or do, just to actually project them to have a good image out there.
Their reputation.
The reputation, basically.
Okay.
How a company actually stands reputable. Are things, basically, the services they offer, the transparency, which all boils down to the ethical standards in which I've spoken about. And now, if the advice is so simple, simply is, can you comply? It saves you just wait. There's a popular adage that says, a stitch in time saves 9. Comply now, even though it might be a bit difficult. People might be saying, what do I stand to gain from complying with all the standards, all these codes, all these laws? Why do I follow all the rules? It might be stiff, it might not be comfortable, but complying now saves you a greater stress of losing your business, losing your reputation as a company, and losing, most especially, shareholders or stakeholders losing their stake in your company. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Isaac OSUNTUYI, ACIS, member corporate members and training committee. He's also a partner at OSUNTUYI and Token Law. Mr. Ketefe, let me come to you. Given the importance of compliance in corporate governance, now, does the Institute organize trainings on compliance?
Thank you very much for this question. Just like any other cogent issues on the corporate governance, compliance is a recurrent topic in ICSAN training program, ICSAN training calendar. We train people on diverse areas of compliance. Many of those people who have undergone our training have attested to its quality, they have attested to its depth. They have invariably given testimonies that the training enhances their capacity when it comes to performing their roles in all aspects of compliance. So apart from the participation in our training program, we also do conduct tailor-made in-house training for organizations and corporations. So a number of companies have specifically requested that we conduct training for their staff, their management staff, their directors, and we have always responded by organizing quality training for them. So ICSAN is ever ready to train interested professionals on this issue of compliance and indeed on all themes of corporate governance. So companies who are in need of such training can contact us. So for more information on ICSAN training, please call Anita on 070-113-0059. For more information on ICSAN training, please call Anita on 070-113-0059. Thank you and have a pleasant day.
All right, thank you so much, Mr. Kaudi Ketefe, FCIS, Head of Research, ICS. And thank you, Mr. OSUNTUYI. All right, we'll be back again next week, Wednesday, 10:15 a.m. right here on Equity 9.7 FM for a fresh edition of Corporate Governance Platform, brought to you by the Institute of Chartered Secretaries and Administrators of Nigeria, ICS. And I'm Funmi Omoburiu. Enjoy the rest of the day.